The Packers are one of, if not the most recognizable team in the NFL with a storied past to pair. With this has come a history of franchise-defining moves, specifically at quarterback. Think trading for Brett Favre in 1991 from the Falcons, drafting his successor Aaron Rodgers in 2005, and then drafting his successor Jordan Love in 2020. But one thing both Favre and Rodgers had at one point in their careers was a franchise-defining move to pair on the defensive side of the ball. Rodgers had Charles Woodson, Favre had Reggie White, and now Love is getting his own Reggie White in Micah Parsons. But spoiler alert, I think this move is better than any other in franchise history. If you're like me, you're probably a football fan, Packers fan, combination of both. You've likely watched dozens of videos and read just as many articles on what exactly the trade entails. So I'm not going to rehash any of that here. I'm also not going to talk about the Cowboys side of this trade too much. They've already been taken to the cleaners by all the internet at this point. So I feel like adding on to that discussion would just be lost noise. Instead, I'm going to highlight why I believe this is the best offseason move in Packers history. Hello everyone, welcome to the Sports Porch, and today I'm going to break down everything that went right for the Packers in this trade and spell out just exactly what it means for the future of this team. If you like what you see here, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more content. I'll have plenty more videos coming your way throughout the NFL season. With that being said, let's get into it. Real quick, future me, as I'm editing this video, just a couple things I wanted to add. First off, bear with me on the lighting. I know like this half of my face the entire time in the video, and it probably still is right now, has like the shadow on it. Still kind of working on things as we go along here, so bear with me on that. And then I also wanted to make a quick clarification. Best move in Packers history, probably should have clarified non-quarterback move in franchise history, because I mean, what is a team without a quarterback? So yeah, anytime you hear me say that this is the best move the Packers have ever made, just automatically assume that Favre, Rodgers, and Love, those three moves are automatically at the top. I got a little ahead of myself there and decided to cool down a little bit more and think about it here in the editing day. But with all that stuff out of the way, enjoy. So let's go over the obvious part of what makes this such a good get for Green Bay first. Micah Parsons is really fucking good at football. In his first 4 years in the league, he's made the Pro Bowl in every season, been a Defensive Player of the Year finalist 3 times, and earned All-Pro honors twice. And as if the parallels to the Reggie White signing weren't enough already, he's also the second player to average 12 or more sacks in his first season. The first player to do it, Reggie White, when he was with the Eagles. His 20.2 pass rush win percentage was second last year, only to Myles Garrett. He's recorded at least 70 pressures every year he's been in the league, has the 5th most sacks of anyone to this point in his career, and yeah, I don't think I need to go on. You get the point. On a pass rush that was honestly pretty toothless for Green Bay last year, Parsons is giving this unit some much needed juice. The Packers were in the bottom half of the league in pressure rate last year with just about 22%. You want to know which team was on the top of that list? Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. In fact, Parsons himself had a pressure rate just shy of 20% last year, nearly outpacing his new team. So to say Parsons instantly becomes the best player on this defense would really be an understatement. And that's no disrespect to guys like Xavier McKinney and Rashawn Gary. In fact, the next reason why this signing is so good plays into just that, how much Parsons can help everyone around him. The list of the happiest people on earth after this trade is probably heavily populated by the Badger State. Top of the list probably includes Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love, probably Tom Grassi in that mix as well, if I had to guess.
Holy crap, man! What?
But next on the list, and the person who will likely benefit the most from this deal, is a former Batman, now turned Robin on this Packers line, Rashawn Gary. Now listen, I've been a Rashawn Gary defender ever since Green Bay took him in the 2019 draft, which is not a very popular selection at the time. But even I have to admit, and Gary probably would as well, based on the expectations, 2024 was the worst season that we've seen from the 27-year-old so far. Gary had been excellent in the 3 years before, posting at least 9 sacks and 30 pressures in 2021 and 2023. In 2022, it seemed like Gary was poised to win Defensive Player of the Year with 6 sacks and 17 pressures in just 9 games that year, until a torn ACL changed those plans. But last year saw a step back for Gary, posting just 7.5 sacks and 26 pressures to pair. Now, while these numbers don't look terrible on paper, watching him play told a different story, with the Michigan product feeling like he straight up disappeared in some games. This was especially the case early on, where he went 3 games without a pressure at the start of the season. But I think this will undoubtedly change this year with the addition of Parsons. Zadarius Smith is the best player Gary has had on the line with him throughout his Green Bay tenure. And that's no slight to Smith when he was in Green Bay. He was fantastic. But Parsons is in a whole nother category of player. He will demand double teams, and coaches will have him circled on their play sheets every single week. In turn, this is going to free Gary up, giving him more favorable matchups and one-on-ones on the other side of the line, while Parsons does a lot of the heavy lifting for this team. Pair that with another year in Jeff Hafley's defense, where they switched from a 3-4 under Joe Barry to a 4-3, and we could see Gary go from a good to great number 1 pass rusher to possibly the best number 2 in the league by a long shot. Everyone else gets moved down a peg in the depth chart as well, including 2023 first-round pick Lucas Van Ness. The Iowa product has shown some flashes, but hasn't been able to quite break out yet in the same fashion Gary did all those years ago. So instead of Green Bay hoping to rely on the natural development of Van Ness and hoping Gary gets back to form, they can now instead get help from, frankly, one of the best players, if not pass rushers, in the league. And don't forget about Edgerrin Cooper. He'll have even more sick schemed up sacks this year now that Parsons takes up so much time and real estate from the offense. I can't wait to see it. So while yes, Parsons is awesome, and he obviously helps out the Packers in a huge way this year, the reason why I deem this the best move Green Bay has ever made is one I haven't even mentioned yet: his age. You see, what I didn't mention earlier about Favre getting White or Rodgers getting Woodson is that both of those guys were in their 30s by the time they got to Titletown. Were they both still awesome players? Absolutely, and it was a big case as to why both of them made the Hall of Fame. But Micah Parsons just turned 26 and is now on the youngest team in the NFL. Guess how many sacks Reggie White had in his age 26 season? A career high 21. He would then record 18 sacks the following season and only finish below double digits in his age 33, 35, and 39 seasons. This has made White considered the best Packers edge rusher of all time, and he joined the team at 32 years old. Just think what Parsons could do with a 6-year head start and similar production numbers that I outlined earlier. So, in short, the Packers just got who's presumed to be the next Lawrence Taylor and made themselves a true contender in the NFC for what are presumably just 2 late first-round picks and an aging Kenny Clark. Yeah. Sorry, Bears fans, but both the present and the future is looking bright for Green Bay. Although don't worry, I do have hope for your team as well, with Ben Johnson now at the helm. Once again, I want to thank you guys all so much for watching the video. It's been a really long time for me since I have made YouTube videos. You might be able to go check back in the history and see the last time that I posted something. It must have been 2 or 3 years ago now. But I'm making a more concerted effort this year to get back in the swing of things. So, what can you expect from me this season? Well, in the next week, I'm hoping to get out an opening season power rankings and also to do some predictions for all of the week 1 games before everything starts. And then I'll just kind of see how things go throughout the year. I'm hoping to continue the power rankings and continue the predictions every single week. But I'd also like to sprinkle more videos like this throughout there, covering stories that are interesting to me throughout the year, big developments, things of that nature. Either way, I'm excited to bring you guys along for this ride. So once again, I just want to say thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.